Hi, so in the previous video we talked about long division using the bus stop method. In this video we're going to use the same method, but we're going to create a decimal calculation rather than a fraction one. Okay, so the question was 427 divided by 16, and like before I'm going to rewrite it as 427. But in this particular case, I'm also going to extend it to take into account the decimal equivalent that I'm going to be creating. And then, like before, my question is, how many lots of 16 are there in 4? Well, there's none. How many lots of 16 are there in 42? Well, I know that 2 lots of 16 is going to be 32, and there's going to be 10 left over. So that won't give me the ability to create another group of 16. So I'm going to say 2, 32, and then I've got 10 left over. And at this point, really, you need to be ignoring the 7.000 that I've put there and just concentrate on the 16 and the 42 there. So I've now got 10 left over, and I've subtracted it from my 32 total. Okay, however, I can't ignore now the 7 that I still have to deal with. So I'm going to bring that 7 down, and there it is. And now my question is, how many lots of 16 are there in 107? Okay, and this is where really estimation skill is very important. So I know that 10 lots of 16 are 160. And if I know that 10 lots of 16 are 160, then 5 lots of 16 must be half that, which is going to be 80. However, I think I can squeeze another lot of 16 because there's a difference of more than 16 between 107 and 80. So therefore, I'm going to, at the side here, put a very small calculation, which is 16 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36, 3 to carry, 6 ones are 6, plus 3 is 9. So I know that 6 lots of 16 will make 96, and I've got 107 available. So like I did before, I'm going to calculate the difference, and the difference is going to be 11. Now if that was the end of my calculation, I would have worked out I could have got 26 lots of 16 and I would have had 11 left over. So in other words, if I was making party bags and I had 427 sweets and every party bag was going to have 16 sweets, I would have been able to create 26 party bags and I would have had 11 sweets left over. This is, however, a decimal calculation. So therefore, what I'm going to do is carry on. Now, as before, I now have to drop that 0 down to there. Okay. So my question now is, how many lots of 16 are there in 110? Well, I know that there are 6 lots of 16 will make 96, which is pretty close. So just to make sure, I'm also now going to calculate 16 times 7 to see if I can squeeze another lot of 16 out of 110, because I know that 6 of them will be 96 sweets. So 6 times 7 is 42, 2 there, 4 to carry, 7 ones are 7, plus 4 is 11, so 112, but unfortunately I only have 110 available. So it's going to be 6 again, which is 96, and if I take that away, I've got 14. And actually, I would have 14 because had I got another 2 sweets, that would have been 112, and I would have been able to fit another 7 pieces. It would have been 0.7. Okay, so I've now got 40. I'm going to bring down the other 0. And there it is. Okay, and repeat the exercise again. Okay, now 16 into 140. Well, actually, I know that 16 times 7 is 112. So once again, I'm going to now work out 16 times 8. 6 8s are 48, 4 to carry, 8 1s are 8, plus 4 is 12, so 128. And really, I can go on like this for quite some time, because what I'm doing is I'm creating the mathematical or the decimal equivalent of a fraction. So this is now 8. I'm going to bring down the 0, okay, once I've calculated that there are 2 there, so I've now got 120 0, and so I can go on. I know that 7 lots are 112, so that's going to be 7, and so on and so on. Okay, and what we're doing here really is working out a decimal equivalent of the fraction. If you look at the previous video, the fraction 11/16. Okay, however, just for the purposes of this video, the decimal answer to this particular question is going to be 26.7 to 1 decimal place. And if you look at one of the other videos, it will tell you about whether that should stay as a 6 or whether it should be rounded up to a 7. So 26.7 for this particular calculation using decimal long division.